Hi everyone. I wanted to talk about herbs and intuition today. Specifically herbs that are used for expanding your intuition or for helping you focus in on your psychic abilities. Alright, but first, I'm going to show you what came in the mail yesterday. This is my new goddess candle. I ordered this from, I'm not sure how to hold it so that you can see it. It's really tall. But, see. I ordered this from Arcane Wisecraft Allura Rain. You can, I don't know if you can, look how green that is. Okay, this is my candle for Hawthorne now. I know that a lot of people associate her with the colors gold, so there's kind of glittery gold on the top, and light blue, but also this really vibrant green. I asked Allura if she could make me a malachite green candle, and I'll show you a piece of malachite. See how closely, look, see, that is just about the same color. It turned out wonderfully. Okay, I'll show you that. This has camphor oil and gardenia, and it's got little rose petal leaves in it and gold glitter, and on the bottom, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, oh maybe, yeah, you can see one. There's a blue lace agate in there, and there's a malachite in there too, but the candle itself is that same color, so it's difficult to see. Okay, but there's some malachite and blue lace agate in the bottom, and I think there's even some more rose petals in the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to wait till solstice to light this. I'll put this on my altar, and it will represent my mother, Hathor. I'm so excited. I'm probably going to have to ask her to do, yeah, I'm going to ask her to do some other candles for me for Imulk next year. This turned out really great. Okay, now let's talk about herbs and intuition. I'm not going to talk about any of the illicit, illegal substances. My stance on the whole issue is that it's really unfortunate that certain herbs are illegal or very highly regulated. I guess the saying that one person's medicine is another person's poison fits, but I think it's unfortunate that an herb, a plant, can be made illegal for use and for people to use. The idea doesn't make sense to me. So that's where I stand on that particular subject, but I'm not going to be talking about illegal plants, and I'm not encouraging you to use illegal plants, but whatever you do in your own house is your own business. But I'm going to talk about things that are legally available. Alright, I have my idea of the herbs that are good for expanding your intuition or for focusing in on your intuition are just that. There are like two different classes. There are the herbs that expand your awareness, that can like open up your perception, and they have a very expanding influence on your brain. And then there are the kind that have a focusing influence, so that if you, say, already have developed your intuitive abilities, you might use a particular herb to help help clarify that ability, help focus in on something. So very different classes of what an herb can help do for your mind and your intuition. Um, Expansive, open you up to things, to new experiences, and focusing, helping you clarify what you're experiencing. Okay, I have a list of herbs that can be used, and what what makes them either expansive or clarifying has to do completely with how they work with your body. So some experimentation may be in order. I would tell you to be careful with some of these and look to um, practitioners who have some experience with these and who even come from traditions where these are used. Because some of them are very strong, and then some of them you can pretty much use safely on your own. And I would also say that with any herb, unless you have the advice of a practitioner of some kind, a health practitioner, alternative health, or you're a doctor, whomever you go to for health advice, um, unless you have their go-ahead, I would not use any of these herbs for more than 2 weeks at a time. I mean 2 weeks straight, okay? So, yeah, you don't want to, it's actually with any herb, you don't want to use the herb every day for more than 2 weeks at a time, particularly if you're going to be taking a strong dose of the herb. Mugwort is the most well-known, probably, among the witchy community, the pagan community. I have mugwort listed as expansive, opening up your intuition. For some people, it can probably be clarifying, but as far as I'm concerned, it is an expansive herb. I have honeysuckle here. You can use the incense always, and you can use the essential oil if you want to. I would be careful using the actual petals, the honeysuckle petals in a tea. You can, but I would check with a TCM, traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, before doing that. And I would not go out and try to gather honeysuckle myself unless you know that you are able to decipher from the different kinds of honeysuckle. There is a variety of honeysuckle, I believe it is the Japanese variety, that is poisonous. Like entirely poisonous, and you don't want to ingest it. And then there are other types that you can ingest certain parts of the plant, like I believe the petals are okay, but you don't want to ingest other parts of the plant because they contain higher levels of a certain toxin. Alright, just want to say that. I use honeysuckle candle to help clarify my intuition, particularly when I'm looking for an answer to something, if I'm scrying for some purpose, or I lit a honeysuckle candle when I was doing my card readings for myself. I think I'm going to make a practice out of that. It really works. Yeah, so I have honeysuckle as clarifying, but you can always experience it differently, and it might be an expanding herb for you. Sorry about that. Dogs jumping around. Alright. Rosemary can go potentially either way. The strong medicinal smell of rosemary can be very clarifying, very focusing, but it can also be an expansive type herb that opens you up to different experiences. Yeah, and you can always you can burn rosemary, or you can take it as a tea. I like using teas more than like burning the herb itself. Okay, thyme, a mix of rosemary and thyme together is a really strong, really strong expansive experience. So if you want something really expansive, I think rosemary and thyme together in a tea is really effective. And I also want to say that, sorry about the noise, dosage is important. Okay? If you steep the leaves or the petals or whatever part of the plant you are using in simmering water for 2 to 3 minutes, that is a recreational, just a tea drinking dose, and you can pretty much do that every day and not get any really intense effects, except with some very strong herbs. And a dosage that's more steeping from 5 to 7 minutes is a stronger tea, and that is generally where people start having these experiences getting an effect from the herb. A dosage that is from 10 to 15 minutes or even 20 minutes is a medicinal dose. You definitely do not want to take a medicinal dose for more than 2 weeks at a time, unless you have express medical advice to do so. Alright, there's also clary sage, which for me is clarifying and focusing and helping you hone in on your skills if you already have developed your intuitive ability. For some people, again, it may be expansive, it may be something to aid you in developing your intuitive abilities, but for me, I think it's more of a clarifying, focusing herb that allows you to hone in on abilities that you have already developed. Alright, clary sage. Jasmine is for very, very expansive dreams, okay? This you take before you go to bed, and you will have some intense dreams. So I completely think of jasmine as an expansive herb. Eyebright, this is another one of those herbs I would tell you to be careful with. Eyebright potentially has some toxins in it. Traditionally, an eye wash was made with eyebright for expansive purposes, for fairy sight. Now, what you do with that is your own thing, but I would be careful with that. I would not take the herb internally or put it on my eyes or anything like that. I would pretty much, just like carry it around. You might burn it. I'm not sure about that. It's kind of strong. Alright. Dittany of Crete is also one of those, I think, expansive herbs. Lavender is another herb for expansive dreams. Now, if you take a medicinal dose of it, it will just put you out, and you will pretty much just forget your dreams. But if you take a moderate dose, you'll have interesting dreams. Peppermint is, for me, completely focusing and clarifying and sharpening your abilities. Star anise, or anise itself, to me is an expansive herb. Yeah. For some people, it is more focusing because of its kind of licorice taste, and so kind of the earthy licorice taste for some people is more focusing, grounding type thing. But for me, it's really expansive, and it was associated with being able to assist souls into the other world. So I think it is useful to contact the other world. Licorice is the same way. It has a licorice taste. It has an earthy taste to it, and it's also sweet. I use it myself. Cinnamon. I use a mix of cinnamon and licorice together because for me, licorice is expansive and cinnamon is extremely clarifying. It's very sharp. It will like hone you in on something. Of course, for other people, again, it might be expansive because of its strong quality. Tobacco, the tobacco leaf. I'm not talking about cigarettes here. I'm talking about the actual plant. Is expansive. I would not suggest you use it unless that is part of your path to do so. And there are specific ways of using tobacco in spiritual, religious, spiritual and religious rites. All right. Basil. Basil is clarifying and focusing for me. And you can make basil tea. It's very strong. It's very strong stuff. Bay leaf. Bay leaf is also very expansive. You can either burn it like an incense, or you can take a tea. Poppy seeds are focusing. The poppy plant itself is extremely expansive, and I would not suggest that you mess around with that. Yerba Santa, sacred herb. I don't have enough experience with it to tell you if it would be expansive or clarifying. My first guess is that it's an expansive herb. Hyssop is generally clarifying. Of course, if you take a strong enough dose, it can kind of get you a little bit drunk. Okay? Those are all the herbs that I have to cover right now. If I can think of anything else, or if you want me to cover any of these herbs more in depth, let me know. And I'll say bye now, and all stars shine on your paths. All stars shine on your paths.